You know why I did that?
Why?
Because we're doing pillow fights and I eat dubs.
Okay, guys, so we're gonna go to Walmart and go up to random customers, hand them a pillow, and see if we fight. Me and Chance are gonna throw hands, and he's probably gonna win. But then I'm gonna fight Luke, and I'm gonna beat Luke. You'll see it later.
Absolutely
Let's go.
not.
Come on! Go! 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 Fuck.
So, like, how do you approach someone to have a pillow fight?
You gotta record
Yeah,
from, like,
I'll go first.
Oh, this guy right here.
I'll go first.
No. Yes.
Let me go first.
No pillow fight. No. He's with his mom. His mom is definitely Matt Ringer.
Hey man, I like your shoes. When was the last time you had a pillow fight? You want to have a pillow fight?
No one wants to.
It's not working out.
I think it might be my 6'4". My 6'4". I think maybe we should have like Luke do it first.
I think your size.
Hey, Luke,
your size is a little intimidating.
Okay, I think I'm a little intimidating. I think you should.
What?
I think no, because look, I think he's probably gonna.
You ever had a pillow fight?
Hey, bro, you trying to have a pillow fight? Like, I feel like I don't want to like make someone scared. So I think Luke should do it. Not to diss Luke. Not saying he's tiny or short or anything. I'm just saying like, I think. Okay. I think it'd be.
He's offending me.
So we're trying not to get kicked out, but at the same time, we just want to have a pillow fight. Oh, that was a Walmart worker.
No, I think the best thing we have to do is we have to find someone of age. Like we can't find someone that's older. Like we need like, cause we're not gonna.
We can't just go up to a little kid either.
Okay, but I think the one place we should look is the baby aisle.
Yeah, if we're not trying to go after little
moms-
kids, why are we in the baby
Or
aisle?
even- I was just wondering, when last time you had a pillow fight? Hey, you're with Ashburn? Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll go to round 30, so I feel like we're late. Oh, really? Well, we're making a video round. Do you want to do a pillow fight?
Whatever helps you out, man.
Perfect. Go. Go. Oh!
Uh-oh, come on. Gotta get that X off your head.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah, you're fine. I think you won that one, man.
Thank you.
Hey, what's your name?
John.
John Hunter. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Yeah,
man.
thanks for doing that.
Thank you. Seriously. I felt bad because I hit his glasses like hard. I was like,
I know his glasses
You're
fell
like-
off, bro.
All right, we are going to take a pause from that pillow fighting extravaganza to finish up our series, Who is Jesus? Over the last several weeks, we've talked about the different titles that Jesus held while he was here on earth. The first week, we talked about how Jesus is Emmanuel, God with us. Week 2, we talked about how Jesus was the Son of Man. And then last week, you got to hear how Jesus is the Messiah. And so we're going to wrap up that series today. Before we do that, have you ever held an unpopular opinion? Like at the lunch table, you were the only one that saw a certain thing and everybody else agreed with each other. Let me tell you one of mine. I think that chocolate flavored things are gross. Okay? Chocolate cake, don't like it. Chocolate icing, don't like it. Chocolate ice cream, don't like it. I like vanilla flavored stuff. I'm actually kind of boring when it comes to ice cream. My favorite ice cream is just regular old vanilla with nothing in it. I know that's polarizing, maybe. But actually, that's one thing that I actually find really interesting about Jesus is that Jesus was very polarizing, which is why the title for Jesus that we're going to talk about today is so interesting, because those who loved him called him this, and also those who hated him called him this. And it's actually the title of one of Kanye's albums. It is Jesus is King. And I actually want to break down some of the beauty of the Gospel of Matthew, because actually the process of becoming king back in the day was a 3-step process. They were designation, which was basically the moment that they were selected. We see like with people like David that when he was young, he was chosen as the next king long before he actually became king. It was a process by which they were anointed with oil, which was basically a process of saying, hey, God has chosen you to be the next king. The second step was their demonstration. Basically, they had to go through a series of tests to prove that they were worthy of the title and the mantle of responsibility of being king. And then finally, their coronation, which was actually the moment where they are crowned as king. And throughout the Gospel of Matthew, we see these 3 steps play out in Jesus' life.
This guy passing by. Hey, when's the last time you had a pillow fight? You want a pillow fight right now? All right, let's go. Oh, God. All right. Oh, he's emptying it.
I think you knew.
You know what's happening? Okay. All right. Ready to go. Okay. Bro, you got me. Hey, what's your name?
John.
John Hunter. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Wait, God, you gave me the word.
Have a nice day.
Hey, you too, bro.
You got work. Yeah, you got work.
I got destroyed.
You got work.
My turn.
I'm going next to the sport. I want to go find like a dad or something. They have the most experience, bro. They've been doing it since their kids were little.
Hey, look. Hey, look.
Oh, shit.
I went night-night.
Let's start with his designation, the moment where he is chosen. In Matthew 3:13 through 17, it says this: Then Jesus came from Galilee to the Jordan to be baptized by John. But John tried to deter him, saying, I need to be baptized by you, and you come to me? Jesus replied, Let it be so now. It is proper for us to do this, to fulfill all righteousness. Then John consented. As soon as Jesus was baptized, he went up out of the water. At this moment, heaven was opened, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting on him. And a voice from heaven said, This is my Son, whom I love, and in him I am well pleased. This is the moment where we see God's Spirit coming down to say, This is Jesus, this is my Son, this is the one that you've been hearing about. This is the coming Messiah. It's him right here. This is the moment where he is designated as being different, as being the king. And actually, right after this moment, we see him go to his demonstration. It says literally right after this, Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And for 40 days, he's out in the wilderness. He fasts. It's when he's at his weakest. And then at the end of the 40 days, that's when the devil shows up and tries to tempt him by offering him comfort, offering him food, offering him influence. And it's in that moment he is able to resist the devil, showing that he is the stronger one, that he is the one worthy to be called king. Paul actually had some really interesting words to say about the coronation moment of Jesus. He says this: it's a stumbling block to Jews and foolishness to Gentiles. Basically saying that Jesus' coronation was not what anyone expected it to be.
You.
Ask Reed.
Hey, we're actually doing the vlog right now.
Really?
Yeah. When was the last time you had a pillow fight?
I've really never been to home.
You want to do a pillow fight right now?
Sure.
All right, let's go. Ready?
Yeah.
Go. Oh God. Oh God. Oh. All right. Mercy. Hey, come on. Hey, give it up for Reed. Give it up for Reed.
So right now, Hunter is on the look for a child of the age of 5 or younger.
Toddler.
Because at this point,
What up?
it's the only win. the only win he can get. Yeah, we can go back to my house. You can fight my son. He's 3.
Excuse me, sir. I got a question for you. When's the last time you had a pillow fight?
Oh man. Probably been a while. Man.
You want to have a pillow fight real quick? Ready? All right, go. Oh, okay. No. Over 5.
0-4.
Okay, I'm going home. Let's leave. It's time to go.
So historians believe that the Romans did not create crucifixion. They're not the ones that came up with it originally, but they're definitely the ones that perfected it. And it wasn't just meant as a means of execution, but it was actually meant to send a signal, to send a message that they were not to be messed with, that anybody that opposed them was sure to meet an unfortunate fate. Matthew 27, verse 27 through 31 says this: Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus to the praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. They twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand, and they knelt in front of him and mocked him. Hail, King of the Jews, they said. They spit on him, they took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. After they mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him, and they led him away to crucify him. What's interesting about this part of the crucifixion account is that Jesus is actually going through the steps of what a real king would go through. I mean, they put a robe on him, they put a staff in his hand, they put a crown on his head, and even in mocking ways, they bowed to him. These are the exact things that would happen on a coronation day for a regular king. And then if we skip ahead to verse 35, we read this. When they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots, and sitting down, they kept watch over him there. Above his head, they placed a written charge against him. This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. And as we continue on in the verses, they continue to mock him. They say, he saved others, but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel, then let him come down off the cross and we will believe in him. He trusts in God, let God rescue him if he wants. For he said, I am the Son of God. In the same way, the rebels who were crucified with him also heaped insults at him. This is what makes Christianity so unique. It's the story of a God who became a man, and this God who was the rightful ruler of the cosmos hung on a cross for you and I. Jesus is the king that was designated as his baptism, who demonstrated his worthiness of the title king in the wilderness and had his coronation moment when he hung on a cross and took the payment for our sin. And it's that Jesus, the God who suffered like us, the God who died for us, and in the moment of his death sent a message that was loud and clear, that he was unlike any other God that they had heard of. He was a God willing to step into the mess of our world, get his hands dirty, and make a way for all of humanity to be rescued from sin and restored to their rightful place as children of God. And so even though Easter has passed, the power of the moment of Easter where Jesus hung on a cross, paid the price for our sin, and then rose from the grave saying that I am even king over death, that even death has no power over me because I am king. Even though Easter has passed, the power of Easter is still just as real today as it was last week. And this is the story of the gospel. It's the announcement that through the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, our God has once again become king over all. His kingdom is coming on earth as it is in heaven, and we are all invited to be partners with God in bringing heaven to earth. Who is Jesus? Jesus is king.
Who's that? What does it say?
Waiting for him to respond.
Good chance. What? That was so forced.
Thank you for watching this week's episode, PZ. PZ finally got his payback. We'll see you next week.
Ain't no way you breaking me, kid. I'm harder than nails. Plus I keep it on lock like I'm part of the jail. I'm slaughtering